Hey, I'm Charlotte, the haunted housewife. So I thought I'd just come on here while I just do my skincare, just to let you know why I've decided to do this. I've set up a paranormal investigation YouTube channel, and obviously I've got an account on here, Instagram, and Facebook, and I think that's it for the minute. So I've had experiences in my home where when I first moved into this property 10 years ago, there was no carpets, there was nothing in here. It was literally an empty shell. So just a bit of background on my home. It was built in the 1930s for the military families before World War II. And when World War II was going on, this would home all the wives and children of the soldiers that went to war. And also, we have a very, very haunted manor not far from here. So when we first moved in, I was decorating. My children weren't here at the time. They were at school, and I was all alone. I was taking off wallpaper in the house because it was awful. The plaster was falling off. It was just horrific. The whole thing was horrific. Then all of a sudden, I heard these little footsteps. And then I heard, Mummy, where are you, Mummy? I froze. I was just like, what on earth is that? So I knew there was nobody in here, in the house at the time, because my husband was at work, and my children were at school. And then the windows were open because it was in the summertime. We moved here in June. And there was no children in the garden. And I just kept hearing steps around the house. And then some stuff started happening. We have a wardrobe in my bedroom, and where my husband puts all of his stuff. And one night, my husband had a bath after work and went into the bedroom, and the whole of the closet was on the floor. Like the whole entire my husband's clothes were on the floor. Like it was just swooshed off. And my husband asked us, like, has anybody been in our room? And everybody was like, no, everybody was downstairs. I was doing dinners, doing everything that we needed to do. And that was really, really strange. Then we had a bottle of medicine for, like, when I think one of my kids were poorly, and a medicine flew off the side in the kitchen. We've had I think me and my husband had a bit of an argument one night, and I stormed upstairs, as wives do. And I was like, I'm not being with you. And he stayed downstairs, and then the whole lot. So at the head of our bath, there's like a ridge. So that's where we put all of our shampoos, shower gels, and stuff like that. That was all swooshed into the bath, and it made a massive bang. And my husband ran upstairs. He was like, oh, what was that? With a few F words in there. So that freaked him out. And the next morning, it was all put back. And nobody had touched it, and we couldn't explain what exactly had happened. Then there was a time where my eldest daughter was grounded because she'd done something naughty, I think. And I saw this little girl, same height, around about the same age as my daughter at the time, with really long, pure blonde hair, and in a flowy white dress. It was literally at the corner of my eye, but I can explain everything she was wearing. It was like a frilly white dress. It went all the way down to her ankles. She was barefoot. Her hair was so long, like it was down to her bum. And it was like a really blonde hair, straight hair. And it was just all flowy. And I don't know why I thought it was my daughter, because my daughter didn't look like that at the time. She's got blonde hair and she had really long hair. But she wasn't wearing white. But I don't know why I thought it was her. I think maybe it's just my mind kind of comprehending what just happened. So I shouted, I said, "Get back in your room, you're grounded." And she was like, "Mum, I'm in my room." And I told her to get downstairs. And then I looked into the kitchen and there was no one there. But I saw a girl walk into my kitchen. So then there was so much stuff happening. My son saw a man peeking through. I could see stuff peeking through the cracks of the doors, and it was just so scary. Well, I wasn't scared, but like everybody else was everybody else was feeling it. So I contacted a medium. The medium that I spoke to, sadly, is not here now. But he was such a lovely man. And he came in and he said that the little boy who was here, he was calling out for his mum. His name was Abe. He was killed by a man, a groundskeeper, apparently from a mansion that's near me. And he killed him and other children. And I am a reincarnation of his mum. And so I have 2 Sen children. Both of my girls are Sen. And my eldest girl has some problems with her legs. And my youngest is autistic. And the boy had the exact same problems as my eldest daughter. That's pretty freaky. So he helped me find his mum. He had a mum and a sister on the other side who we went to, and he was reconnected with them and went over. The man, he was a dark spirit. We buried him in my garden. And there was also a curse on my house. And it was a curse for the residents that lived here before. So he was a soldier from like the 1500s, was here to cause chaos, and he was sent back. And then we cleansed the house. He taught me how to cleanse, and we've not had really problems from there really. I've had, like, since my mum passed, I know that I can always tell when she's here. And I always have a spirit at the minute who, that door there, would poke his head through like this all the time. But that's constantly all the time at the minute. I sage my house. I don't think it's a bad spirit. But then that brings me on to my sensitivity of spirits and stuff like that. I've always known I had something in me, something strange from such a young age. I could always feel when something's about to happen, or I could always feel things off people. And recently that's bit me in the arse, but it's very rare it lets me down. But I can always tell when something's off, or I can feel like I get anxiety when I can feel someone's not has the right intentions, like for me or for somebody else. I don't know when I started to realise spirit connects with me until maybe a couple of years ago. I was not open. I've never been open. I've had a lot of trauma in my life, which, if you want to know my story, please go and follow Charlotte Louise. I will tag her. Tag her, it's me. I'll tag it in this video. Because I'm doing massive things, hopefully doing massive things in that regards. It's always been masked by trauma. And then I had counselling, and honestly, I've always been really sensitive. But since doing therapy, since things have happened, I've been really have had like an enlightenment. I know that sounds strange, and it sounds strange saying it, but I have. And now I've got into tarot cards, and I can feel certain people who have passed, and it's pretty crazy. But I'm not trained by it. I've not done anything. It just seems to be a natural thing that's come to me. And I'm absolutely embracing it now, and I'm absolutely loving it, and it's completely changing the way I feel, the way I look at things, and it's kind of given me kind of it's grounded me a lot, which I needed. I'm not gonna lie, I needed it. So that's how I've got into this. If you've got any questions, please give it a comment, and I'll try and get back to every single comment. Have you been through this? Is this the kind of things that's happened to you? I've got a few things planned. I'm sending out an email today for a new investigation, which I'm super excited about. So yeah, I hope you have a lovely day. Make good choices. Don't take no shit, and be kind. Take care. Much love. Bye.